Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the infinite heat switch on your range, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a number 2 square head or Phillips screwdriver. We'll also need a stubby number 2 Phillips screwdriver, a small flat blade, and a jeweler's style flat blade screwdriver as well. We'll need 2 pair of pliers, either needle nose or slip joint, and a pair of wire strippers or crimpers. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, since we will be working near some electrical circuits, we'll want to disconnect power to the range. So either pull the plug from the receptacle or locate the breaker panel or fuse panel and disconnect the power there. Now next we're going to either remove all of the screws on the back of the upper back panel, or just the 2 top screws on the upper back panel and the 2 number 2 Phillips screws that are located under the console. And for that you will need the stubby screwdriver. Now take care not to drop that screw down in behind. And then the 2 upper screws, one in each corner. We can also remove the knob at this point. Just slide it off of the shaft, and then we can remove the 2 screws that secure that infinite heat switch to the console. Now we're carefully going to pull out on the bottom of that console to disengage it, and then we can lift up slightly on it and then tilt it forward. Now with the console dropped down, we can access that infinite heat switch, and this style uses block type connectors. They're usually on there fairly tight, so just take the flat blade screwdriver and just gently pry up on the edges, and then we can remove that connector completely from the heat switch and check for any signs of overheating or arcing on those terminals, and if so, we'll need to replace the terminals as well. Now on the connector that has 3 wires attached to it, check the one for the terminal that is down in this corner and make sure that it is a smaller terminal than the other 4. If it is not, you will have to pull that wire out, cut it, and then install the little 3/16 connector that came with the kit. Now to remove that wire, we would take a small jeweler's type screwdriver and slide it in from the wire side of the terminal, release the little locking tab, and then we can pull that wire out. We'll next take our new control and we'll reconnect those harnesses. Locate the small terminal. That is going to fit on the typically the purple wire. Make sure they're fully inserted onto the control. Reattach the second harness, and we're just going to push that through the opening on the front. And while holding that control panel up, we'll start one of those 2 screws. And the 1 screw will hold that in place until we can get the control panel back in place. So we're going to hook it over the back. We'll make sure that the back panel tucks in under the upper lip on that control panel. Then carefully line up the end caps. Make sure that they will fit into the little slot on that control panel. Tilt it down into position. We'll replace the screw that goes up under the bottom. The same on the opposite side. Again, make sure that the tabs on that end cap fit in behind the control panel. Reinstall that screw. Now before we put the knob on, we want to make sure that we have the right shaft length for your model. So just compare the one on the old infinite heat switch with the shaft that's on the new one. And if the new one is longer, you'll note that there is a break-off point close to the end that will allow you to snap that off and shorten the length of it. Before we do that, we will want to remove the retainer spring for the knob. So with a flat blade screwdriver, we're just going to carefully pop that off of there and set that aside. Then carefully take 2 pairs of pliers, and we're going to grasp the shaft down close to the console, and then with a larger pair, we're just going to snap the end off of that and discard it. Next, we'll want to replace that little spring clip, and now it's going to set back a little farther on that shaft, and you'll note that there is a groove cut out for it. So just line that up, and you should be able to press that on just with your fingers. And then we can reinstall the knob. We're now ready to reconnect the power, and our repair is complete.
I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your repair.